So, been wanting to do a draft recap, and I think last year we did it with Gerace and I believe Matt. But in a few leagues, did a couple recaps already, and we're running out of time as the season already started. And it's hard to link up, and the last couple were fun. They're super long, so I figured, hey, let me give this a shot solo, see how quickly I can make it, and and yeah, I'll try to super zoom this. I got some coffee, I got some water, and we'll hustle through. So some team names I'm going to have to get used to, remembering who's who because I know some team changes, and I'll do my best here to at least like recognize. So I know The Walking Dead is Calpis. It looks like Dodgers is Barada, I'm guessing. Yeah. So I know some teams came in with great keepers. I know some teams came in with super shitty keepers, and try to keep it fun, light, loose, and just like gut reactions. I glanced at like this earlier, like the first round and two picks or so, and just to kind of see how it was shaped up. I really wish it was like a draft board, but this is fine. So yeah, let's roll through this. My gut feelings through the draft recap here. Try to have no bias as far as what happened so far, and let's go. I think the first round pretty much went as is. Like I feel like all these guys between Soto, Betts, Jose, Henderson, Carroll, all those guys could be mixed matched any which way. I think maybe as we get to 12, Matt Olson could be, a consideration of going a little deeper. But honestly, like it's nitpicking because who goes ahead of him? I don't know. I think Loch did a good job of grabbing at least one of those key starters there with Gilbert, and I was really hoping that one of those two fell to me personally. I'm the only one here speaking, so I can only talk about my particular draft. But I was thrilled to get Jazz and Manny back to back. I know Loch, of course, thought I was going to go to Freddie Freeman, and I had considerations going to pitcher, but I didn't. But I think all the rest, Acuna probably went a touch early, but again, nitpicking. If the dude plays, comes back within a month, he's going to be a beast. I think all these other picks. I'm not a Ozuna fan in general, in regular life, in baseball. I'm out on him. Not surprised that the Dodgers picked him. I think that's par for the course there. Devers could be a steal. I know he hasn't started off great, but I mean, if he's healthy coming in, he's probably a late first round pick. Uh, all these other guys fall in place. Teoscar, Harris, Reagans. I think we got some pitchers here that come up that I think that were pretty decent values. I think Butler, of course, is could be a stud. No one knows. He could be the next guy who has a great second half and then falls off, like a la Nolan Jones. We're going to see a lot of Phillies picked earlier than they should be. Not surprised as Dodgers again. Sorry, Barada, but not only do you shine your Phillies badge super bright and heavy, but you overdraft them. But that's all good. I thought McLean was a good pick there. Bellinger, I got lucky with Schwellenbach. I know he's a risk because he's never done it before, but I was happy to get him. Again, none of these picks really surprised me. I thought the first one, as we go into the fourth here, I thought Vientos went a little bit early. I know he had a great second half. I know Locke says he doesn't follow baseball like he used to, so whatever cheat sheet he's gone by, looking at third base, I guess it probably made sense. But yeah, I was a little bit shocked by that. I love Josh Naylor. I think he's underrated. Super happy to get Westberg, especially with the double positions. I think all these guys will work. I'm kind of out on Imanaga this year. I know Gerace has a hard on for him, but I think where he went was decent value. But I'm not as high on him as I once was. Trout could be a beast, but I mean, you're basically paying for well, how many games? I mean, 100 games if you're lucky. And I start to question, is he worth going over, let's say, a guy like Kyle Schwarber who went, 2 rounds later? I don't know. Doyle, all the hype, good field, got the playing time. We'll see. I'm kind of out on Bailey Ober this year. I know he had a rough start to begin, but I didn't get him in any leagues, even though I liked him, before he really broke out. I haven't had him since, unfortunately, but I just don't get like I don't like that he's like what 6'8" pitcher that throws super light. But we'll see. I like the team. I like the pitching staff. I like the development. I do like the guy, but I'm kind of out on him. Sasaki, we'll see what he does. Bohm overdrafted. I like Bohm. I feel bad what's happening in Philly with him. The past year or half a year or so. Dude was a stud, and obviously an all-star the first half, but. Again, like what do you expect from him from third base? And I'm sure we can find a third baseman coming up that you could at least get more value from than taking him there. But yeah, I get it. You want to watch the Philly play, you want to have him count for your team, all good. I'm out on Luis Castillo, but I get it. Love Bryce Miller. Really wish he fell. Uh, can we get a couple of relievers going? Devin Williams should be a stud. Rowley's a beast. Class A. I already had him as like one of my busts of the year, but only because like a lot of players, he had such a high, great season last year. There's really no place to go but down. Um, but yeah, I I like Peralta. I was hoping Cassis fell. Strider could be a super stud there. I was happy with Kirby. I know he's hurt, so a little bit of risk, but if he plays, he's great. Snell, I mean, he's a keeper there. Berger, I like Berger. I thought it was a little early again. I know Locke loves burgers, but I like the double position first and third. And I do like him this year. I just thought it was a tad early, but it's all good. Um, Prez can be a beast again. Like I'm kind of out just because he's a little bit old. Dude does produce, so he makes me look stupid. Two positions is cool. Sonny Gray, I'm out on this year. I'm done with him. I know he could be good, but me personally was happy to get Hunter Brown. I almost kept him. Schwarber was a keeper, so I guess he couldn't have gone over Trout, who I said a couple rounds earlier. Langford's a keeper. Contreras, I know everyone loves him this year, and that's cool. His brother is a keeper. Zach Allen, I like. I'm not. I mean, I like him as like maybe a three, but yeah, he falls in place there. Reynolds falls in place. Luis Robert, fine. Mason Miller could be a beast. Goldschmidt, I'm out. I mean, I love this guy for his whole career. He's such a perfect player in the game. However, I mean, outside of his team like setup and ballpark more so setup, that's cool. But I don't know. You got a 36, 37-year-old first baseman. You can't find someone a little bit later than that, but it's all good. Names and maybe like lack of studying. Who knows? I don't know. Luis Ariz, cool dude, will hit 350 and do nothing else. Bobby's a keeper. Yonder Diaz, one of the best hitting catchers. Roman Anthony. Um, yeah, I mean, could be the next great thing, but how many Jeremy Kelnicks have we seen? So we shall see. Round seven, kind of early, but yeah, I get it. I took him early in another league. Edwin Diaz, great closer. Bo Bichette, my man. Kind of bummed I couldn't keep him, but dude just fucking blew last year. Always healthy. I'm sorry, always unhealthy, and hasn't looked good in at all last year. And I don't know, but I mean, here I do like the pick actually because if he can get back to like next year, now you're talking about, or I'm sorry, the years prior before last year, then you are in a top five shortstop setup. But we'll see. Love Joe Ryan. Tanner Scott's beast. Chris Sale's a keeper. Was happy to get Suzuki there. Um, Alcantara looks good. Should be good. Santander was a keeper. I love the Brian Wu pick. One of my favorite picks. Love that guy. I was really hoping I had him lined up here. Alonso was a keeper. I ended up having to settle for Justin Steele, which he's all right. He's just a dude who, if he's healthy, should pile up some innings. And I like that team build. Yada yada yada. Will Smith, I do like that pick. I had him a couple other spots. Love the Christopher Sanchez pick. Debated him versus Steele, but there we go. I'm out on Flaherty, but I get it. Tucker was a keeper. Toglia, I like this. I mean, again, I guess like going back to the Goldschmidt, like why not take Toglia there or just wait for Toglia here? Um, I mean, if the dude can do what he is supposed to do, that's a pretty good spot. I like the double positions. Again, I'm curious to see what other first basemen pop up. Framber was a keeper. Hater, yep, I'm kind of out on him, but I get it. He's a beast of a closer, has been for 5, 6 years. I love Riley Green. I would love to have him in my squad. Couldn't do it. Jacob is a keeper. Ian Happ, my man. Love it. This guy, super underrated. I mean, we talk about Brian Reynolds, who went what 3 rounds earlier. Go look at the stats, see what the difference is. So Walking Dead, great value there. Jackson Holiday, keeper. Ryan Hesley, yeah, I get it. He had one good year. It's cool. I'm out on Iglesias. I think he really is just getting to that point age-wise. And good team. So if he gets the chances, then great. He should pile up some saves, but in general out. Marte was keeper. Chapman's cool. Not a great fantasy player, but he'll play every day. He's not going to be a threat for lineup issues. I guess going back to Alec Bohm, that's where a guy like this, you can see the value, not only Chapman, but also Eugenio Suarez a couple rounds later. That's where I feel like Bohm was a massive overkeep. I like Yelich. I know Jerez loves Yelich. If the dude can play and his back stays in one fucking shape, he should be okay. Of course, Matt loves Austin Wells, and rightfully so, actually. I like the dude too. Tovar, I like Tovar because he plays in Colorado, and yeah, he could be maybe like a 2020 guy if everything pops, but I don't know. Like, I have him in one league, and I'm a little hesitant in some ways, but I don't know. A little early for me. I know I went early on Campbell. I figured to keeper. I guess if you relate him to maybe say Roman Anthony, who was 2 rounds earlier, then maybe a little better value. Dude's starting hot. Main thing was he's starting in the pros. So Suarez is pretty solid. Rodon can be hit or miss. Lugo, I love Lugo last year, and I liked him the year before. He was fucking amazing last year, and I didn't have him anywhere. I mean, as much as I liked him, I think he falls back a little bit this year, but we shall see. Judge keeper. I ended up debating between Langoliers and Real Muto. We'll see where Real Muto went, but I like the fact that he's hitting fourth and maybe the next version of Kyle Raleigh. Probably not that good, but Randy, pretty good, decent value. Matt Shaw, not bad for a keeper, especially playing three positions and a couple of keepers started to go. Carlos Correa, dude, if the dude can stay healthy, he's been pretty decent. I think Senga is a fucking great pick here, man. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. Good job, Barada. Dominguez, the keeper. Crow Armstrong, and it's fine, worth the upside. Got a ton of steals, and Xavier Edwards, dude should play every day because Miami's got no one else. Neil Cruz, keeper. Bryson Stott, way too early. But again, going back to the Philly thing, I get it. But double positions, I love when guys like this go off the board. Walking Dead then followed up with Batista. And keeper wise, I'm sorry, closer wise, when you look at it like versus Hader and Diaz and guys like that, pretty decent value. I just am a little hesitant on, especially not going to use him back to back games. But we shall see when the dude's on. Big Mountain's a fucking beast. Colton Cowser, I had him before in a different league, and there's some holes I feel, but he's young, great team, good ballpark. Steer could be solid. I'm surprised he started playing already. Out missed half of fucking spring training with a shoulder injury and ends up in the starting day lineup somehow. Double position's cool. Castellanos, I'm kind of out on. I said this last year during the draft. I'm sure we'll find other outfielders in here, but the dude does produce. I mean, he's going to put up 25 home runs, probably 85, 85. You can complain about Luzardo's worth the risk at this point. 11th round, we know what he is when he's on. See if he's on. His onness is related definitely to his velo, so we'll see how that is. Barrios, I'm out on, but I get it. It's a name. And he had a decent year last year. Vlad's a keeper. Skeen's a keeper. Gosman also out on, but again, I get it. And if he does well, he could be a steal there. Camanero's a keeper. Tyler O'Neill, I love this guy this year. I mean, if the dude stays healthy, which he won't, he'll probably play 120 games max, but the dude can fucking crank. That lineup's awesome. Um, I like that pick. Walker could be a good value closer wise, especially what other closers went already. Zach Veen so far was a fucking surprise of the whole fucking draft for me. And like, I think I texted Loch or sent a message in there like, how the fuck did he find that name? Or well, he jumped massive amount of prospects to get to Zach Veen. And maybe it's because it's Colorado, although the ballpark would be a good reason, but they can't fucking produce a prospect to save their life. And Veen's been hurt, and Veen hasn't played that much. And when he has played, he's been okay. I just don't like really see the appeal. I'm really hoping because I have him in a dynasty league. I fucking hope the dude takes off. But yeah, like huge reach. And I know we're around 12, so at this point, like, what's a reach? But wow, that was just like trying to take a shot in the dark. Hoppe is a cool pick, especially when you look at like his production versus even like what I did with Langoliers way up, way higher up. Hoppe should hit for better average, should hit solid, amount of home runs. And I don't like the lineup, but again, I took Langoliers. That Oakland lineup isn't any better than the A's lineup, but I think that's a pretty good pick there. And catcher, it's funny. I came in personally thinking like I can wait, I can wait, I can wait, and each draft I ended up going pretty high because I wanted that quote unquote top tier. But these lower level guys, and Hoppe isn't even in that. I feel like he's middle tier. Can really produce pretty well, I think. But anyway, I was happy to get Munoz. I really like him. Bogarts, I'm out on, but I get it double position. His floor is pretty high. I just think he has no ceiling. Turner's a keeper. Duran's a keeper. Um, I think here we go with Jock Caglione. I know the dude raked in spring training. I like his future, but way early, right? Again, like just kind of taking shots in darks with prospects here. And maybe he comes up this year. That would be pretty aggressive for Kansas City. I just don't know where you play him. Right? They're not going to take Vinny P out, and they are not going to sit Sal. out of DH for him. So who knows? I don't know. But at the same time, KC does need some offense, so maybe that's the upside. Just thought this is super low. I think this is like a last round pick. Um, Paredes should rake this year. I think everyone's hot on him, so I'd like that, especially double position. Burleson, all right, fine. McClanahan, great value there. I don't know if he was hurt at this point, but if he's not, that's a great steal. I love Johan Duran or whatever, however you pronounce his first name, but our Minnesota reliever. Pablo is a keeper, and then he goes right back to Raul Muto, which I think is a good value. Like I said, I debated him and Langoliers, a few rounds up. So if JT can play and he stays healthy, obviously the lineup in the ballpark serve a good amount. His floor should be pretty high. Maybe his ceiling just isn't as high as it once was. Royce Lewis, if the dude can stay healthy, which we already know he can't even before opening day, he could produce like a first and second rounder. So I love that pick there, just for sheer upside. If you're going to go like prospect hunting, why not Royce Lewis instead of, let's say, Zach Veen or Jock, whatever the fuck his name is, Caglione. Hunter Green, a keeper. Shohei, the pitcher, a keeper. Zach Leflin, yep, put up some okay numbers. Hoskins, a keeper. I mean, that's a fucking awful keeper. But I mean, I like Reese, but wow. I think he only had three keepers as well, and he was one of them. That's embarrassing. I love the Brandon Lowe pick. He was actually the pick of the whole draft that I was super pissed that I didn't get. And I know it's stupid, it is Brandon Lowe, but in Yahoo for some reason he plays two positions, and I love that lefties in that ballpark because they're playing in that miniature um, Yankee Stadium. Well, it's not miniature. Yankee Stadium is miniature, but they're actually playing in the recreation of Yankee Stadium there in Tampa. So I like Brandon Lowe. He'll probably miss a lot of games, but as like a second baseman. And here, backup first baseman, dude should be decent. I love Brandon Pfaadt. It's a great pick. There's another one I felt that I really wanted and got ripped out of me. Robbie Ray, I actually like. I'm super happy to get Gavin Williams. I think his upside's good. I had him here last year. He was hurt, didn't really play. Luis Garcia had a good year last year. Could easily be 2020. It just matter if he plays against lefties or not. I like the Heliot Ramos pick. Locke did a good job there. He's a guy I was really high on coming in. I didn't get him anywhere. I was kind of bummed I didn't, but I think that dude is pretty decent. Eovaldi's fine, whatever. Yates, I'm kind of out on Kirby Yates. Um, but I get he's on a good team. All he has to do is fucking show up and not get rocked. Bobby Witt's a keeper. Swanson, underrated all the time. Stephen Kwan, why not take, Stephen Kwan over Luis Arise? I get like first baseman, maybe that's the issue. But I like Stephen Kwan so much better. Josh Lowe, I like. Same reason why I liked any Tampa player, especially the lefties. Sucks he got hurt already, but dude could easily be 25-25. Hoffman, cool. Suarez, fine. I'm kind of out on both these guys, but I get the appeal. Wood was a keeper. We ended up trading later. Oh, we ended up trading pre-draft Wood for Jackson Jobe. For me, it benefited immensely that Yahoo doesn't allow you to swap the keepers because honestly, this round should have had a pick for American Dreams, but I'll benefit off Yahoo shittiness, limitations. Dylan Cruz, keeper, Yandy Diaz, he's fine for OBP. I hope he's not the starter, but I'm not really that big on Yandy. I do have him some places, but he's kind of limited. He's not going to hit for power, and the dude's built like a fucking tank, but he's going to hit a bunch of ground balls. But he should have a decent OBP, and we'll see how he goes. Profar, great steal there, man. If the dude can perform anywhere close he did last year, he really fell, and to get everyone's a little bit skeptical if he can do it, but we shall see. Abrams is a keeper. Francisco Alvarez, I love this fucking pick, man. I mean, if obviously catcher's deep, so he can put him on IL, pick up another catcher. He comes in with one of the youngest, best hitting catchers if he can recover decently from the hamate. But he's got power and he's going to stay on the field. Good lineup. I think that's a good pick there. McGill should be a decent closer. I like the Soderstrom pick. I'm surprised that actually Yahoo doesn't have him as a catcher because some places do. Max Muncy's a decent steal there. Nico Horner, I'm fine with him there. Pavetta I actually really like this year. Neto, I like. It's a bummer he's got that shoulder injury. We'll see how he comes off of it. Ronaldo Lopez, I'm kind of out on this year. He had a great year last year. I get it. We'll see if he can come close to duplicating it, but it's a decent pick there. I'm not a big Lane Thomas fan, but I needed some outfield help, and he's been a 2020 guy, so I figured give him a shot. Nimmo's solid. Tatis is a keeper. Pepio, not bad shot there. The dude could be pretty decent. I was a little bit hesitant on Tampa Bay pictures. I think I only got one in all the leagues I'm in. And I think it was actually this league, which we'll see shortly. But I don't like that ballpark, as I already said. I mean, I like it for hitters, I don't like it for pitchers. I don't like the fact that they're going to be playing outside in the summer with all the rain that comes later on. I know that Tampa's schedule has them like really front heavy, and then they have like a crazy amount of away games because they're trying to avoid the rainy season in Florida. But hard to avoid. Painter's not a bad pick there. I'm surprised with all the Philly fans he didn't go earlier, especially above like Jock Caglione or even Zach Veen. Clay Holmes, I was super happy to get. Open day starter. I know he's an RP there, but he will start. Then we have Shohei the batter, with great value as a keeper. Lodolo, not bad. I'm kind of out of Cincinnati pitchers just 'cause that ballpark, they seem like they can't develop them, but they have a fucking horde of them, so we'll see. Arenado, I'm kind of out on. But he looked good during spring training, and dude's had a good career. We shall see. Love the Pena pick. I think that's a good value there. Ranger Suarez, pretty decent. Ward's underrated. He's gonna, if he can stay healthy, he's gonna be decent. Jared Jones, I guess he was hurt at this point. I don't know, but that's a freaking steal, dude. I mean, he is probably fourth rounder if he comes in healthy. So I'm guessing it had to be hurt at this point. I'm out on Ryan Presley, but I get it. Yeah, just stuff about him I'm just not that big on. But anyway, Kate Smith, good steal, especially well, not a steal, but a good pick there, especially with us being a saves holds league. Same Jason Adams, fine. Andres Jimenez, decent. Adelise is a keeper. Bubba Chandler, I like that pick for upside, especially when you compare it to like Andrew Painter. Good, decent value in both those. I'm kind of out on Rafaela. I know some guys like him, like Matt likes him. I just don't know where he plays enough to make a difference, where he sits in the lineup. Kikuchi, I like Kikuchi, man. He's been better than people think, and um, if he can produce in that shitty Angels team, he should at least sit as a decent. Like, I like him as a four. I don't know where he fits on the Dodgers, but hopefully at least there. Arrighetti, I like the upside, could be decent. Young, I love this guy if he can stay healthy. I know he got hurt already, but hopefully it's minor. Believe it is minor, but I think that's a good value there. Torres, I'm kind of out on, but I get it. Took a reliever in Justin Martinez. Hopefully he ends up being the Arizona starter, starting closer. Soler, solid power and decent value there. Great keeper and Ellie there. AJ Puck, yep. I mean, we're basically competing for Martinez and Puck Arizona saves and holds there. Hopefully, ideally, they flip flop. Nolan Gorman, dudes look good, and I wanted him somewhere, and I know he should play two positions. I know he sucks for batting average, but if he can, if he can put it together, he should at least be Brandon Lau. Where he's popping 35 home runs, 30 home runs, and maybe not hitting for a high average, but doing decent in there. I took Yuri as I know he's going to miss half the year, but I was super happy to get him around 18. Um, hopefully he comes back and has some at least keeper value. Ryan McMahon, yeah, he's all right. I mean, he's probably waiver wire fodder, but he's a decent MLB player. I like Rasmussen. The only problem is he's coming off his third Tommy John. How much does he get abused there? How many innings does he go? But I like him. I like Abreu, especially in our system with hold. Donovan's solid, good utility guy. Grayson was a keeper. I like that. It's a bummer he's hurt. Really excited to see what he can do. Gabriel Marino is one of those catchers I was saying, like to me, he's like middle tier. He's like in that Hoppy tier. And even at this point, like Real Muto, if he can just stay healthy and put it together, dude's got some good pop. I like Edmund, man. He's a good player, and I like his eligibility. Austin Riley's a keeper. Cedric Mullins, yeah, he's all right. See if he can do it. I mean, dude once was a stud, so if he can put it together again, Wall's moved in a little bit in that ballpark, and that lineup's awesome. Tanner Houck is all right. I had him last year. I'm just a little hesitant on this year. Cam Smith, a great pick, especially going to go back to keepers. You look at the guys taken before him. Again, I'll pick on Jock Caglione. I'll pick on Zach Veen. You go back to the Matt Shaw pick. Here we have Cam Smith, round 19. And the dude's starting. I like that pick. Jackson Merrill, keeper. Walker Bueller, I'm out on, but I get it. Volpe, keeper. Carpenter, I like Carpenter. And they said he's supposed to play against lefties a little more this year, so hopefully that's the case. Julio, keeper. India, I get it. And he's fine. Hopefully he's not the starter, but I get it. Glassnow, keeper. Vinny P, the Pasquatch, keeper. Griffin Jacks, I really like, especially in this setup. I think he's underrated. Rutschman, keeper. Renifo, yeah, I mean he can be all right. Low ceiling, average floor, I guess. Carson Williams, I get the prospect hype. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant on what he actually becomes, but um, I guess with no Wander Franco there, they do need a shortstop eventually. Fairbanks, he's all right for a closer. Scherzer, I'm out on all the old guys. But I know he's looked good, and I get it. Taj, I really like Taj, but all the same things I already said about the Tampa pitchers. Lucas Arceg, similar to Griffin Jackson, those guys should be a decent hold saves. Brandon Marsh, I'm out on. I'm not surprised who took him. Bazana, I like it. First round pick, first pick overall, I get it. I don't know how quickly he comes up, but looks like he should be a hitter. Romano could be a steal. Yeah, I'm really hoping him obviously for him to do well, but obviously his health and just getting back into the swing of things is a huge part of it. I don't mind this Encarnacion Strand pick. I just that Cincy infield is crowded, and he's going to have to hit to stay. I think and do more than just pop homers. But I mean, he at least has to do that. I like the Francis pick there. If he does what he did last year, that's a great steal there. Kobe Mayo is a keeper. That's kind of crazy. Uh, but hopefully he comes out. Gaddis, I guess he's the third guy in the tier of relievers in Cleveland. Bednar, I like this. He does scare me. I have him in two other leagues, and so far he has been scary. But if he can get back to what he was, I mean, that's a fucking great steal. Mackenzie Gore, I like him. I've always been too scared, too afraid to pick him. Obviously, he once was the number one value. Sorry, not value. Prospect in pitchers. And if he can ever reach that capacity, which as Phillies fans we all saw it come game one, so we'll see if that's the shadows or that's him or whatever. But we shall see. I'm Alan Kenley, Robles. I get it. I just don't understand like how this once high prospect who never did shit in Washington goes to the hardest ballpark to hit in Seattle, leads off and has a good half a year. I just don't see like how that unless something dramatically changed how he becomes what he was supposed to be on a different team in a better ballpark in a better lineup, and now all of a sudden older and all the other things that are worse becomes better. But we shall see. Marcelo Meyer, yeah, it's worth the upside there, especially for a team who has no keepers. I like Kirkling. I think he's going to be a beast in that bullpen, possibly the closer. I like Jung Ho Lee there. We look at guys like, let's say, Lee versus, all the way going up to maybe like this was like the eighth round, and areas where like Castellanos were taken, Nimmo, and I took Lane Thomas. I think Lee can be in that ballpark. Castro's fine. He's going to play like play their position, but nothing sexy, just a dude. Wallner, I like. I mean, if the dude can, you know, hit his expectations and he'd be like a mini Schwarber, but I mean, could also be waiver wire fodder. Rookers, keeper, Loris Gurriel, super underrated. Again, go back to look at his numbers versus like Castellanos, look where they're drafted. I like Joey Ortiz. I think he's solid. I was looking at him there. Two positions. I think he can hit 2020 this year if it all comes together. Clark Schmidt, solid. I know he's hurt, but could be decent. Jackson Jobe was a keeper, but he was swapped for James Wood. You Darvish, I'm out on. He's one of those old guys, but I get it, name power, and who else are you gonna fucking take? Churio, a keeper, Nolan Samuel. I'm out on this fucking dude. I get he hits for average and gets on base OBP wise, but that's it. Like he's the lightest hitting first baseman. He makes Yandy Diaz look like a power hitter. Carlos Estevez, I'm out on. I was out on him when the Phillies got him. That's probably why Dodgers took him. But I'm out, and hopefully he does well because I want to see Kansas City do well. But nope. Jose Alvarez, yeah, I like him, man. I think he's when he's on, he's a beast and had good spring training. He and Kirkering to me are the guys I want in the Phillies bullpen. Bryce Terang, keeper. Jeffrey Springs, I like that pick. My fear with him is just health and the A's. Mania, I'm out, but dude, his year is amazing last year, and if he can do that again at round 22, this is a great steal. I like Vesia, man. He's underrated and gets no love, and that bullpen's stacked. I get it, but he's good. Severino, again, solid pitcher, good value there. Basalo, good keeper option, one of the highest rated prospects in the league. Of course, the problem is he's on Baltimore as a catcher and first baseman, but they have so many other guys. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. Victor Scott's a good pick there. Could be a league winner. We always wanted Billy Hamilton. He got drafted, I think, as high as like the first or second round in this league at one point. And here we have a better hitting version of him going around 23. So we'll see if he can do it this year. Buxton, I get the value here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'd never trust that dude. I don't want the waste of a drop basically. Baldwin, I like the keeper value if you can put it together. He's just a stave off um, Sean Murphy, who's under contract for a bunch more years. So it'd be interesting to see what Atlanta does there. Because when Murphy plays, he's a really solid catcher, not just hitting. Mountcastle, it's fine value, it's cool, but that whole lineup's packed as we already talked about between O'Hearn and all the other guys that can play first for them, including guys who aren't even up right now. Walter Jenkins is a keeper. Ben Joyce, I like this. I know that the dude throws 103. I know he throws it only straight, and so while it's 103, it's not a great fastball, but I don't really like the rest of that bullpen, so he should be decent in there. Verlander, I'm out on, but yeah, whatever. 23rd round, I love Mozardo. I'm super happy I got him. I figured I could sneak him by late in this draft. I did. I'm out on Morel, but yeah, okay. Hits for power, plays three position in this league, fine. Strahm, whatever. I feel like why not go for a prospect down here instead of Strom unless you really need a reliever. Chapman out on fucking nope, nope. Strada, Boz, I took a shot on. I don't really like the Tampa pictures I already said, but I needed another starter. He was there. Garrett Cole, I like this pick. It's worth the risk. Colt Keith is all right. Mason Wynn, I really love this dude, especially in real baseball. But if he can put it together, he could be really good. But I love his game. I like everything about him. It's solid out on Alexis Diaz, but again, I get it. It's closer. Well, he was the closer, could be the closer, had some good years, but I'm out. Mitch Keller, not terrible. Kumar Rocker worth a risk. I like Garrett Mitchell a lot. I love Nathaniel Lowe, super underrated for what it is. And I think when you look at other first basemen, which we go higher up, and do again, I'll just go back to like a guy like Yandy Diaz or there's other first basemen in there that I won't recall off the top of my head without scrolling up, but I think you're looking at like a pretty high average contact OBP dude with a 20 something low to mid 20 power. He's going to play every day. I like that pick. And Justin Crawford, yeah, worth the risk. I'm a little fearful of him as far as a prospect, like what he's actually going to do, but it's worth the risk there. So let's take a look at some of these teams real quick. I'll try to make this super quick here. Let's go to league standings. I know it's already longer than I want it to be. Let's start with Joe Boo. Ryan, who hates baseball but decides to do the fantasy league every year and doesn't want to give it up because he does not want to leave Yahoo. That's how much he likes it. He's got Salvi as a catcher. Yep. I mean, hey, top five guy. I can't complain. I love Matt Olson. Top five guy. I can't complain. I hope that's not a starting second baseman, but it is. And so he punted second, and that's kind of a bummer. But he's all right. I guess I would. Everyone has a hole in their lineup. Um, but yeah, that's pretty hurtful. Berger, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, I like him, but I like him as not my starter. And it looks like I guess Vientos is a starter and Berger is his utility guy. Okay, it's fine. Ellie's a beast. Santander, should pop some homers. I like Ramos. Yeah, lineup's pretty decent. I don't like the fact that he has two catchers in there, but I guess if Salvi hits like, above a catcher, it's fine. Um, really limited bench because you only have Joey Ortiz and Gurriel because Veen is not going to play because he's in the minors. Pepio, Lugo, Wu, Gilbert, Eovaldi, Rodon, King. I'd say it's middle of the pack ish. I love Gilbert. I think he's an ace. I'm kind of out on King, but I get it. I guess he's considered a two. And then I like Wu as the three. Lugo is a four, Rodon is a five, Pepio, okay, it's fine. I like Walker in the pen. I don't really like these other two guys. And Puck is okay. So yeah, I mean, average team, I guess, maybe a little above, but nothing that like is wowing me. But we shall see. Let's go to the American Dreams because they're next up. And let's see, I like Moreno. Hope Burleson isn't the starting first baseman, but it looks like, yeah, Soderstrom could play. That's fine. He's got Gunnar hurt. He's got Buxton, who will be hurt, but he's not yet. He's got Roman Anthony in the minors. He's got Taylor Ward on the bench. And so, yeah, Terang will steal. Bregman solid. Fitzgerald, I don't know, man. I think he was a flash in the pan, similar to some other guys we've seen with half a year. So his metrics aren't that great. So he has a lot of risk to me. He's got a guy who can't do anything but steal bases in Terang. He's got a platoon guy in Burleson. He's got yeah, a guy that played half a year in Fitzgerald. Doyle is a risk. I like Reynolds. Castellanos fine. Armstrong's a rookie. Soderstrom, I need him to hit. I don't really love this lineup. I love Gunner, and obviously, who doesn't? Um, as far as his pitchers go, we got Yamamoto, Valdez, Rocker as starters. We got Jackson Jobe as starters. You got good starters. Between Otani and Mize, and he's got a lot of upside starters, I would say, in Bubba, and obviously Rocker and Jobe and those guys, and bullpen. Yeah, I really don't like that pen. I mean, outside of Williams, but I'm like I said, I'm out on Jansen. Romano scares me. I'm out on Iglesias. So to me, he needs some offensive help. He needs some middle infield power. Between Terang and just infield power in general. First baseman, second baseman, shortstop, all can be better. Um, and he's not really putting much thump in the in this part either. Soderstrom, could hit 20. Crow Armstrong could be a 2020 guy maybe, but yeah, something to be desired. I think um, lower end of the standings by the end of the year. All right, Damage Inc. Here we go. I'll start with what's on the bench. Casas on the bench, Turner on the bench, Young on the IL, Keith on the bench, Neto on IL. So he's got a decent set of guys here that can come in and play. Who is starting? Austin Wells, a catcher. Yep, decent. He was one of those middle tier guys I like. Bryce Stud, India. Is he a starter? I guess between him and Keith. So yeah, okay. Shaw at third, and I guess typically it'd be him and Young. McLean at short, I like. Langford, Kwan, Churio, Freeman's a stud, obviously. Jung Ho Lee. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's missing a couple guys in here. If Costas is crushing and Turner's healthy, and then Young at third base, I like that a little more with the flexibility of Shaw and India swapping back and forth. Pitchers, I like Sanchez, Lodolo, Skeen's a beast. Rasmussen, yeah, he'll be decent for half the year. Taj, we'll see. Freed, I like, and Fa, I like. Decent relievers. Scott, I love. Joyce, yeah, he's only got and Finnegan. Okay, so he's got a couple guys. Yeah, I think Matt always puts together a decent team, and he's got enough pop between Bryce and Freeman and Turner and Churio to always compete. And if guys like McLean and those guys can, and Austin Wells, um, can and Langford can do something, then he can be dangerous. But I'd say like he fights for a playoff spot. That's probably what I go. It's not really fair to do my squad. I'll let you guys do that. Um, Joe Boo, we already did. Oh, come on, I'm slowing this down, motherfucker. Did we do Dodgers? We did not do Dodgers. How did I miss Dodgers? All right, let's talk about the bench real quick. Brandon Marsh, Mountcastle, okay. Carpenter, all right. We got a couple minor league guys. Let's look at the starting lineup. Contreras is a beast. Hoskins is fine. Donovan, Carpenter, Chapman, I love his defense. He's okay in fantasy. Bichette. All right, now we get to a stud. Now we got Alvarez, beast. Ozuna was a beast last year. We'll see. Kyle Tucker, I love. So he's got three really strong bats in there, and I guess some decent complementary. But he's got a lot. He needs a lot to go right. Um, and I'll have to include Contreras as like a stud bat. So he's got four stud bats, and then he needs the other guys to really step up. Um, Pitching wise, he's got. I mean, I love the safety I see to start. Like he's got. I would say he's got a very high floor, but very little ceiling. We know what Nola is, and Webb is very similar, very safe. If Senga can stay healthy, I think he falls in this category. A little like lower floor, but also a little higher ceiling. Clase's been a beast. Hoffman could be a beast. Esteves, Barrios, just super middle of the road. Kikuchi, I kind of like him as his fourth or third in there. But really limited pitchers, so nothing can go wrong in here for him. Or everything's gonna be waiver wire. So we shall see. I mean, um, I think middle of the pack. Unless his offense really just takes off and he gets great years back from, if Bichette can be prime Bichette and Reese Hoskins can be at the best season he's ever had, and even that, it's like nothing great. But Pena can reach what he did in the playoffs that one year. Um, yeah, he needs a repeat of Ozuna. He needs Tucker to stay healthy. He needs Carpenter to step up. Um, yeah, I don't know. Middle of the pack, I'd say at best. All right, let's go to Jerace. And Jerace and I are in every league together for the most part, so we generally like the same guys. Although I noticed that recently we've kind of had some separations in guys we like, but there's like a respect in the players in general. Even if I don't really like him, I get the respect aspect of like why he did it. Contreras, top catcher. Let me start with his bench. Corbin Carroll is out for today. He's not playing. Jenkins, a minor leaguer. Mason's on the bench. Josh Lowe's hurt. Okay, not too many bench guys. He's basically got, at the current moment, he's got two guys between Wynn and Carroll or whoever else plays. So his starting first baseman is could be Vlad and can be Brandon Lau and could be Noel Shanuel. Hopefully he's not the starter because that would really help him. I like Lau. Of course, Vlad's a beast. I like Correa when he's healthy. Duran's solid. Julio's a monster. You just need to start off hot. Yelich could be a monster. Arenado, I said I'm out on, but I get it. Altuve is good. Yeah, I mean, but solid lineup, especially when we put Carroll in here. Um, and then position, move one of these guys, like put Altuve at second and Lau at first, put Shanuel on the bench. Now you have Carroll as an elite bat, Julio as an elite bat, Duran as a potential, like as elite bat, Vlad as an elite bat. Then you got nice complementary pieces for catcher, Contreras, Lau, Yelich, Arenado if he bounces back, Altuve as long as he doesn't fall off the face of the earth. Pitchers, he's got Arrighetti, Flaherty on the bench. It's decent. Other starters: Peralta, Crochet, Ryan, Pivetta, and Managa. I like this. I like the staff. I mean, there's some risk in there, right? Risk with Arrighetti actually doing something, Flaherty bouncing back off like what he did last year. Um, the Ryan just needs to stay healthy. Pivetta needs to stay healthy. They all need to stay healthy, I guess. But I like the staff. And then I like the relievers, and Crochet obviously is the ace there. But it looks like there's only three relievers, so that's fine. But I like them all. They all should be decent. I think Gerace will end up as a playoff team. I think he's solid in there. Let's go to MTO Hoppe. I guess he's got to change his name unless he's got Hoppe on there. All right, let's start with the bench. We got Batter, Otani, monster. Torres, Austin Hayes, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't. What do we expect from him? I'm surprised he's on the team. Acuna, obviously, when he comes back, is a beast. He's got two elite bats not playing right now. Then Will Smith, I really love him. I think top tier catcher. Christian Walker, top five first baseman ish. Top seven. Castro is perfect for a daily lineup league. It's fine. McMahon really probably shouldn't be on a roster. Bogart's fine. Arizarona, I can't never fucking pronounce his name. Randy Bellinger's fine. Schwarber's all right. I don't like his lineup. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, he's got pop, but there's nothing else I really like in it. It's nothing. I mean, he really needs Otani. He needs Acuna. Pitcher wise, whoa, what do we got? A bunch of guys here. Okay, Cole, IL. Strider, IL. Scherzer, IL. IL. Let's talk about who's here. Scooble, Beast. I like Glassnow. I love Glassnow this year. We talked about a bunch of these guys, right? He's got no relievers. I don't understand that mentality. Why? Why not? I would love to know why not. You don't like K's per nine. You don't like winning saves and holds. You don't like whip. I like the relievers. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd say middle of the pack. You know, I guess there's going to have like a couple lower tiers, a couple middle of the pack, a couple playoff teams. Pie Taster, he's a CJP. I know JP's been in a rebuild for a little bit and see where he stands. A lot of guys on the bench. Jimenez, Cam Smith, Basala, Nathan Lowe, Alvarez, Lewis. Okay, a couple guys on the DL. Huge bats on the DL. Bart's fine as a catcher, especially replacement. We already talked about Yandy. I love Albies as second. Riley's a beast. Cruz could be a monster. Betts could be obviously is a monster. Michael Harris just waiting for him to take off. Calder's hurt. Holiday really waiting for him to take off. His lineup could be amazing if obviously he needs these guys back, and he needs a couple of these guys really just to like do what they need to do. Harris needs to reach his potential. Cruz needs to reach his potential. Holiday needs to reach his potential. But if he gets those guys, I love that lineup. Um, Pitching, Manea's out. Castillo and Cortez are on the bench. Whew, I think he picked up a Castillo Cortez at the wrong time. Um, Relievers, Bednar, Presley. Yeah, oh, I like he's got Duran and Miller. Okay, so he's top heavy on his relievers, which is good. Um, Ober, Male, I'm out on too. I loved him in Cincinnati. He just has been hurt and can't fucking throw a fastball. I like Bybee. Hey, he needs another starter or two. Um, between Ober, Bybee, Francis, Castillo, it's solid, but he's missing something. So I think like great lineup, needs another pitcher or two. Um, but I think he can be fighting for a playoff spot. All right, where are we at? Johnson's team. Johnson used to be so good. Now I feel like he doesn't follow baseball as much. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, buddy. But I used to be awesome at picking fucking guys that would last forever, like Harper and Trout and fucking Longoria. And it hasn't been like that for a little bit. But let's take a look. All right. So on the bench, Edmund, Cruz, Scott, Garrett Mitchell. I love that bench. That's great. Starting, yeah, Diaz, yep, great catcher. Some people consider him the second best. Strand would be his first baseman. Could also start Steer. So that's all right, I guess. I mean, that's kind of weird because they're on the same team. Um, but yeah, so I don't love that part. But Simeon, Ramirez, solid. Xavier Edwards will steal the bases. Adelise needs a comeback year. Merrill, potential stud, obviously studly last year. Robert really needs him to do something. Seager, I thought was a good steal in the draft, and what a great hitter. His lineup could be amazing too. Obviously, if Merrill does what he did, Ramirez does what he does, Simeon just staves off fucking Father Time. Xavier Edwards continues to grow and steals all these bases. Adelise comes back between Steer and Canarcio Strand, he gets someone that's consistently starting and gets 25, 85, 85. Luis Robert, if he can do what he did before and Seager does his thing, his lineup can be great. Plus, the Edmonds of flexibility, Dylan Cruz potentially reaching it, Victor Scott becoming the true Billy Hamilton. Garrett Mitchell, I like and see if he can do what he does. All right, pitcher wise, on the bench, he's got Jones and McClanahan out. Love both those guys if they come back. It looks like it looks like both of them will. Springs could be a steal. Max Meyer, I really like. I love his bench pitching. Just a shame two of them are hurt. Starters, love Miller, like Gore. I like the upside lighter. Hunter Green, I like his staff. I love his staff between Grill and Green and Reagan's. I like his relievers. Not that like they're my favorite ones, but they're all solid. So I think his pitching's great. Yeah, I think he's a playoff team. I think if he goes right, I think he's a playoff team. So good job, Johnson. You proved me wrong, motherfucker. All right, Walking Dead, Kalpas's team. Let's see here on the bench. Goldschmidt, although he's fine. I mean, I get it. Mayo's hurt, and in the minors. No, I'm sorry, he's not hurt. He's in the minors. Crawford is in the minors, so he's got no bench. God, man, come on, dude. All right, Real Muto's fine. Arise, all right, yeah, he should be a bench player. Stott should be a bench player. Bohm, okay. How many Phillies you got? Jesus Christ. Uh, wow. You got a third of the lineup. I better hurry up because I want to make this opening day. CJ Abrams. Okay. Um, Ian Happ, I love. Profar is a good pick. So I like his outfield with Teoscar. We'll see what Cedric Mullen does. But yeah, I don't like the lineup. I mean, we got one elite bat. That's it. Nothing else. His next best upside is Teoscar. Wow. Okay. Awful lineup. Cease, Sasaki, Lopez as the bench pitcher at the moment. All awesome bench pitchers. Obviously, they'll start when they play. Hawk is okay, middle of the road. DeGrom could be a beast. Obviously, we know what his issue is. Severino, I like his relievers and Bautista, Adam, and Smith as long as they do their job. Gaddis, Bessie. I like his relievers. I like his staff. It just doesn't have many pitchers. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, six starters. Yeah, I mean, I like his staff. Yeah, but I don't think he makes playoffs. I think he's middle of the pack. So yeah, I'm sorry. I think he's like the one of the like he's like the 4 or 5 in the draft next year. So wherever that sits in there. What do we got? Utley's F bombers. My man, Big Bob. All right, let's see what we got on the bench. Naylor, I love. Suarez, I don't love, but he's solid. Judge, obviously not playing today, otherwise he'd be in. And Carson Williams is in the minors. So Fucking amazing bench. Ahape, I like. Alonso, awesome. Gorman would obviously not be there on every day, so look, he's platooning. Yeah, okay. Garcia will probably be starting. So obviously today with no Arizona, he's missing two guys, and no Yankees, he's missing Judge. So I like the flexibility though. You know, he can mix and match these guys. Morel's going to play probably every day for him just to fill in who's not playing. Dame's solid. O'Neill, I like. Soler, yeah. Nemo, Rooker, beast. I mean, he's got a pop in that lineup between a good hitting catcher, Alonso, Adames is a shortstop. I like O'Neill this year again if he stays healthy, 25. Soler, and then Rooker, Naylor, Suarez, Judge. He's got a lot of pop. Um, you know, he's light on speed. He's going to be relying on Adames to continue to steal and Garcia to steal. That's all he's got for speed. But yeah, good pop in that lineup. Starters, he's got Schmidt on the IL. He's got Bieber on the IL. He's got Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell and Burns sitting and a country sitting. I can already tell I love this staff because he's also got Wheeler. Whew, Sean Burke, who looked really good. Painter, who obviously will not be playing for a while. Sonny Graham out on, but his staff is A plus, and his relievers are really solid too. So yeah, I think he's another playoff team, and that's not surprising. Bob does a good job consistently. Take a look at Vince's team. I assume Vince is still playing. I don't know, sharing with Gavin as far as drafting and managing. We shall see. But Baldwin on the bench. Marte not playing on the bench, Volpe not playing on the bench, Dominguez not playing on the bench, and Bazana in the minors. So solid bench. Starting Raleigh, one of the best catchers in the league. Toglia, yep, cool. Rafaela, Devers, Lindor, Butler, Trout, Robles, Muncy, Paredes. I'll tell you what, man, when this lineup's all together, I like this lineup because you're basically going to go one of the best hitting catchers. You're going to have a solid first baseman between Toglia and Paredes, and then Devers obviously needs to put it together. Second base, you got Kettle Marte, the top second baseman in the game, hitting wise. Lindor's a beast. Butler is that wild card, could be a first round pick. Trout, obviously, we already know everything about Trout. Robles, even though I don't like him, if he does what he did in that second half, could be a beast. Muncy, awful year last year, but what a great value there. Yeah, dude, I like his lineup a lot. See his staff, Woodruff, IL. I just don't even like that in general. I know he picked him up, but like, what do we expect him to be when he comes back? The dude's like throwing like 90 miles an hour at most. Grayson, I love. IL, Ranger, IL. He's got no pitcher bench. Um, I don't like that. Gallon's fine. Lazardo's fine. Eflin's fine. Soriano, I like. Um, but as like my last pitcher, and Keller, yeah, I don't like the staff at all. I mean, he really needs Grayson to come back. I like the relievers though. Relievers are solid. Uh, I think his pitchers are going to hold him back. I think he could be like in that middle tier fighting for a playoff spot. But also health is going to be huge for him because he's relying on guys. Um, you know, I guess I say that because obviously Trout and then Devers with his shoulder. Um, and then Robles has been hurt most of his career. Muncy was hurt. Um, and I guess these guys are fine. Marte's kind of seemed like he's come back from that, but I think that's everyone. I didn't do my squad, but I'll take a look at it real quick. We'll spend the last second on it, I guess. I'm sorry, it's already longer. I didn't even expect to go into this part, but let's do it. Bench, I got obviously Jazz not playing, Caminero sitting today, and Wallner sitting today. That game already started. I'm missing it. Langoliers, okay. Pasquatch needs to do something. Westberg, double position. Manny, one of the best in the game. Bobby Witt, the best in the game. Suzuki, Thomas, Wood. I think that I guess obviously Jazz would be an outfielder too. I think the outfield is probably my weaker spot. It's just it's like I don't have many risks in there. Well, I don't know. I guess Wood can be a risk. Um, but like I don't have like massive ceiling. Again, I guess Wood is maybe that guy, and Jazz, but I don't know. I know that's like kind of a spot like I'm a little weaker at, as well as first base. As long as Vinny P can stay healthy and Manzardo actually does something, which he has so far. Campbell. Looks like they only have him with one position so far, which is fine. My pitchers I waited on, and I assumed my staff would be no particular ace, but sitting I have Schwellenbach and Williams and Brown and Kirby, who is on IL, and Yuri's on IL. So I guess technically I do have an ace in Kirby, and ideally, obviously hoping for Brown Schwellenbach to be that. Justin Steele, Boz. I picked up Ben Brown today. I kind of like him, but he's obviously a huge risk. And then I got a bunch of relievers in Munoz, Clay. Well, Clay Holmes is a starter, but Clay Holmes, Martinez, Fairbanks, Slayton. I mean, obviously it's my team, but I think the lineup is pretty stacked as far as probably the best player in the game. If it's not, Judge, maybe Manny is an elite bat, uh, and Jazz is close to that. And then I got a decent amount of like fillers in there and upside. And staff, I think, is decent enough. So I don't know. I mean, I expect to be in the playoffs. I expect to at least be in like the lower end of the draft, if that's a way to look at it, and that like, 9 through 12, 8 through 12, something like that. But sorry, way too long. I actually think everyone did a pretty decent job in the draft. It's fun. It's my favorite part of the whole thing. I know this is longer than I expected, but I hope you guys liked it, and good luck this year, unless you're playing me.